They say food is the way to a man's heart. But for Daniel, that plate of food nearly stole his soul. He came to Lagos looking for a fresh start, but found a woman who could season your life or ruin it. This story is based on true events and will make you question every bite you've ever taken from the street. Stay with me. Subscribe to Edit Tales TV for the most powerful, real life inspired stories on love, betrayal, and truth. Let's dive in. Daniel was a simple young man. Fresh out of university, he'd secured a job at a tech startup. Not flashy, not loud, but he was ambitious and eager to make his mark. He'd just landed a junior tech role at a digital firm in Surulere, Lagos, a dream come true for a small town boy and a young graduate. The problem was he was lonely and don't have time to cook. Work was long, his apartment cold, and he was new to the city and he lives alone. Lagos didn't wait for anyone. The only time he smiled was when he passed by the food vendor on his street. Her name was Amaka. She was hard to miss. Slim, graceful, eyes that didn't blink when they looked at you, and a smile that lingered like perfume. She wore her hair wrapped in a bright scarf every day, and even in the chaos of the market, her calm presence stood out. Her stall was always full. Bankers, mechanics, youth corpers, all lining up, some without speaking, as if drawn there by something they didn't understand. Her stall didn't even have a signboard, just a wooden table under a tattered umbrella, steaming pots, and two chairs. But the crowd, endless. Even the air around her seemed to shimmer with flavor. Sweet pepper, fresh onions, smoky jollof rice. Daniel first stopped out of hunger. He'd skipped lunch again, and his head throbbed from computer screens. "First timer?" she asked. He nodded. She smiled with deep dimples, scooped rice with goat meat, sprinkled extra pepper sauce, and handed him the plate. "On the house?" "Why?" he asked, surprised. "Because I can see it in your eyes. You've had a long day." Her food melted in his mouth. Spicy, sweet, strange. But it wasn't just the taste. For the first time in weeks, he felt peace. Days turned into weeks. Daniel kept going back. Not just for the food, though that was addictive, but for her. Amaka, she wasn't like other market women. She never shouted, never bargained, never chased customers. They came, they waited, silently. She began serving Daniel before he even ordered, always with a smile, sometimes with a touch on the hand. "You've lost weight," she'd say. "You should eat more." "Only if you're feeding me," Daniel would reply. Their banter became the highlight of his day. At night, Daniel dreamt of her smile, her eyes, her food. She started walking him home after work, told him stories about how she inherited the stall from her mother, how she wanted to open a proper restaurant someday. He believed every word. What he didn't notice was how easily she filled the gap in his life. One evening, as Daniel waited for Amaka to finish serving other customers, an elderly woman selling mangoes nearby caught his eye. She gestured him over. "My son," she whispered, "I've seen you here every day. You're new, so I'll tell you what others won't." "Tell me what?" "You see Amaka? Beautiful girl, but trouble lives inside her pot." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" "Ask yourself, why do men eat here every day and then disappear? Sickness, madness. One man even jumped in the lagoon." Daniel froze. "That's gossip," he said, half laughing. "Gossip comes with smoke." "But where there's smoke," she tapped her nose, "there's fire." Daniel walked away, but her words echoed in his head. He brushed it off, but the seed of doubt had been planted. In the weeks that followed, small things began to unravel. At the office, he noticed he'd become sluggish. His manager asked if he was okay. His productivity had dropped. One evening, he bumped into a man who used to always eat at Amaka's stall. The man looked thin, with trembling hands. "I stopped eating her food," the man whispered. "It was too good, too controlling." Daniel said to himself, all this are just rumors to destroy a struggling woman. How he stopped calling his mother, how his prayer life vanished, how his appetite for anything except her food disappeared. One evening, as Daniel waited for his usual plate, a drunken man staggered by. "Mshu, Which, the man slurred, pointing at Amaka's stall. Name you want finish last year, Abai? You go soon see? Daniel raised an eyebrow. Amaka didn't even blink. She calmly handed him his food. Who was that? Daniel asked. Mad man, she shrugged. He used to live here, went crazy after he lost his job. But something in her tone was off. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He went online and searched her name. Amaka Laga's food stall a Woyoken. Nothing. He asked his neighbor about her. You two day chop there? The neighbor replied with a frown. Guy, be careful, oh. That woman, guys day vanish after dem fall for her. Daniel laughed it off. But deep down, a knot tightened in his stomach. The nightmares began. Daniel saw himself eating her food, but it turned into worms in his mouth. He dreamt of her walking through a graveyard with a calabash, humming a lullaby. He even woke up one night to find his door wide open, though he'd locked it. At work, he started making mistakes. He forgot his boss's birthday presentation, missed deadlines. Yet, he couldn't stop eating her food. His body craved it. His mind couldn't rest without it. But one afternoon, something happened that shook him. A small boy, about 9, approached Amaka's stall. Can I sweep for you, just for food? She looked at him, coldly. No children, she said. Go. Daniel had never seen that side of her. She wasn't kind. She wasn't soft. She was selective. Suddenly, all the warmth seemed rehearsed. That weekend, Daniel made up his mind. He told Amaka he was traveling and wouldn't be around. She smiled too calmly. Safe journey. But he didn't travel. That night, around 11 p.m., Daniel returned to the area, dressed in dark clothes and hid across from her stall. What he saw changed everything. She brought out a black cloth and spread it on the table. Then a small earthen pot, a calabash, and a bundle wrapped in red. She unwrapped the bundle. Dried leaves, ashes, bones. She stirred the mixture and chanted words Daniel didn't recognize. Yoruba, but ancient, dark. She sprinkled it into the rice. Then she whispered, "Those who taste shall trust." Daniel recorded everything. His hands trembled, his chest ached. He felt betrayed, humiliated, and terrified. Daniel knew he had to act fast. He went back to the elderly fruit seller who had once warned him. She stared at him and simply said, "So, you see now." "Yes," Daniel nodded. "But what exactly is it?" "She uses binding charms, ancient food rites. They're not meant for good." "But why?" "Some do it for money. Others do it for power. She doesn't just want customers, she wants control." Daniel was shaken. He uploaded the video anonymously to a blog known for revealing hidden dangers in Lagos, Truth Corner Niger. In 2 days, the video went viral. People recognized her, the chants, the calabash. Former customers commented about illness, depression, addiction to her food. One man said, "I ate there for 3 months and couldn't stop. I lost my job. I couldn't even pray." The authorities came. Amaka's stall was shut down. She was questioned. She claimed it was a harmless family tradition, just to bless the food. But the damage was done. Neighbors stopped talking to her. Market women shifted their tables away. Even the mango seller across the street began reciting psalms when Amaka passed. One evening, Daniel was walking home when he saw her standing at his gate. No makeup, no scarf, just Amaka. "I know it was you," she said quietly. He didn't respond. "I only ever loved one person in this wicked city, and it was you." Daniel's heart twisted. "But love without freedom," he said, "is just a cage." She nodded once, then walked away into the night. Daniel didn't eat from the street for 6 months. He started cooking, talking to his family again, even joined a church group. He began journaling, reading, reflecting. What hurt most wasn't that she used a charm. It was that he trusted her and ignored every red flag. He ran into Amaka one last time at a public hearing for food vendors. She stood alone, hands clasped, her once glowing skin now dull. She didn't speak, neither did he. But as he walked past, he whispered, "Some sweetness isn't worth the stomachache." Daniel slowly returned to normal life. He got promoted, started jogging, took up cooking for himself. He never ate from random stalls again. Months later, while buying fruit, he met a young lady who smiled brightly. "You look familiar. Have we met?" Daniel smiled back. "Maybe in another life." She laughed and handed him a mango. "It's sweet. Try it." He took it but paused. "Maybe next time." As he walked away, he smiled. "I've learned my lesson. Some sweetness is too expensive. Not all that glitters is gold, and not all that tastes good is good for your soul." Months had passed, and the chill of the past was slowly melting away. He found comfort in the rhythm of his own heartbeat, surrounded by the warmth of community and self-discovery. I never thought I'd find peace in something so simple as cooking for myself. He picked up his journal, writing down a recipe that reminded him not just of Amaka, but of forgiveness and growth. "As I stir this pot, I'm stirring my life into something worth savoring." What draws us in isn't always what's good for us. Sometimes love is served with poison, and desire blinds us from seeing the danger.